All right, being real summary for this last one. We had two topics. Basically, they're kind of subtopics or smaller topics within the larger topic of personality and identity and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit interesting if you go to the website because I split these up. And the reason I split them up is because I'm thinking about a year into doing this, I started thinking about what if somebody wants to look at this stuff down the road that wasn't in the group or that it was in the group, but it gets confusing when you do a summary and you have multiple topics at the same time. Then you have a page with different topics or focus. So what I started doing is trying to split that up when it makes sense. And I'd have to probably go back to the first year of doing this and split some of those out as well, because we would do 2 or 3 different topics sometimes in a meeting. So it is a meeting summary, but we're also trying to put information out there based on the meeting, based on the study leading into the meeting, what was discussed in the meeting. We want to put out resources for anybody to go see on that topic. So if somebody's looking up a specific topic, they would be able to, on the site, just click on that and then see stuff pertaining to it. That being said, in the meetings we talk about more than one thing. So it's kind of both. I'm saying this to say we studied five love languages, and we looked at the difference between men and women in a way that we're embracing the differences, not men versus women, not battle of the sexes kind of stuff, not that. But those are very different things. They all could come into play when you look at identity, but very different things. So if you're watching this video and it's not on 122 or it is, I might have this summary on top of both of them. I don't know yet, but the point is 5 love languages, or love languages, I think, is a topic, and then men and women embracing the differences. Those are 2 different pages. So yeah, both of them deserve their own page. But like I said, we talked about both of them in groups. So that's the short, long version. Anyway, so we started off by doing looking at the 5 love languages, and there are multiple love languages. The point is there's a way that we feel love and we express love, but how we feel love helps us understand how our cup gets filled and how other people's cup gets filled. If we understand their love languages, we're able to speak that, and we're not speaking French and German and all that kind of, like, it's a thing. Okay, so it's part of us. It's how we receive love. That's part of our personality, identity, all that stuff. That's part of it. So we took a quiz for the 5 love languages. Again, it doesn't mean there are only 5. There's some people out there that think that there are many more than 5, or maybe they take those 5 and break them out even further. We started with just the 5 because there's plenty of it from Gary Chapman, I think it was. I think that's the right. I'm doing off the cuff right now, but plenty of stuff out there for that. So there's a free test, free PDF that you can download and take. It is the shortest version. It's a common theme. I look at all these different quizzes and tests that are out there when we do this and try to find the shortest correct one, or shortest one that provides the same results as the longer ones, just because it's really not about going through and doing a test and saying this is what it says I am. It's more about getting an idea, right? No, it doesn't mean they're perfect by any stretch, or that it doesn't put you in a box. It just gives you an idea, and a lot of times just allows you to have a better sense of self. So for the 5 love languages, we took that quiz. It took about 10 minutes to do that and add it up and kind of realize where we were. Interestingly enough, the people that were there, and we had 6 people. This time, quality time was like everybody's but mine. Is the primary language for everybody but mine, which is interesting. And then there were secondary ones we talked about, went around, talked a little bit about that. Now the interesting thing, some stuff came up, and it was, someone's like, oh, I just realized I did a lot of wrong. I didn't do right by speaking, my husband's love language or whatever. And it was also interesting because in that group, the people that were there are a couple of us that are still married. Not still married, I shouldn't say that. There are a couple of us that many of the people in there, for, their spouses passed away or whatever the case may be. So it's not a like in the moment kind of thing for them. And at first there was like, oh, well, this doesn't mean anything for me. And it's like, no, that's not true. This relates to kids, grandkids, siblings, friends, right? Because you love your friends. We're supposed to love everybody. So kind of had to reset that a little bit, because initially, yeah, you're thinking spouse, but for me, I told everybody there, my kids have taken this when they were little, when they were, gosh, I don't know how old they were at that point in time. I'm horrible with that. I want to say in the 8 to 10 range, something like that. I had them take their love language stuff, children's love language quiz, and it's worded differently. There are different love language tests or quizzes based on where you're at, because obviously when you're a kid, your love language comes from your parents. Again, this is why this is important to everybody. One way or the other, you've either had parents or you are a parent. But anyway, I had them take that, and it helped me understand how to do certain things. And one of my kids was physical touch, the other one was gifts. So I tried to speak to them in those different ways, so that they felt that love. And interestingly enough, I had them take another one, and they're teenagers now. And my son's completely flipped, like completely different, opposite different. So love languages do change. It's not just saying that they do, they genuinely do, based on different periods of life, different interactions, whatever it is that makes that up. I think when we're younger, we maybe take on our parents' love language. My son was physical touch, maybe because he knew I was, so he gave me hugs a lot and stuff like that. I don't know. Not sure where that comes from, but I do know that they change. I don't know if it's partly because we adapt. We have to learn how to receive someone else's love better, because maybe they're not real good speaking our language. So we kind of adjust, which I think is a thing as well. Again, we didn't dig all the way down and trace the rabbits on that one. You certainly can, but it was more of like having a better understanding of self and of others, and just picturing that. And it was just kind of interesting to see. There were half the people have taken them before, half have not, but just gets you thinking about that, and not just in the significant other category, in your children and your grandkids and things like that, because most of the time the love languages you think are romantic love languages, and that's where everybody goes, but it's so much more than that. It's really just speaking love in a way that somebody receives it, no matter who that is. So pretty important thing to be aware of. Maybe you can pick up some cues from somebody else and see how usually how they speak their love language is maybe their love language. I will say this though, my mom was in the group, and I don't think I've mentioned that before, but she's been coming for a while. But what I thought her love language was when I was younger, completely wrong, because she used to give a lot of gifts, and she would do that. And I thought when I went through the love language thing and was learning about that and how my kids do it, I'm like, oh, my mom's definitely a gift person. Nope. Not from a love language standpoint. She is a gift person, but she gives them for a different reason. So it's not always obvious. And like I said, my son's completely changed. And I'm like, what happened? I have to change how I speak to him now, like in that way. And that might be part of the struggle. We don't have a bad relationship, but we're trying to like figure it out. Of course, he's a teenager. But just saying things we talked about, which is good. So we did that, talked about that for a bit, at least half the time, maybe a little bit more, and then we jumped into the men and women and the differences. And there's some really good videos on 122 under that. I think it's called Men and Women Embrace the Differences. I put the page out there. Something, you'll find it. And we have some videos out there that are explaining biological differences from a baby, and I played some of that. I didn't play the whole thing because it's like 40 minutes, but one of them has 50 different things that 50 different differences 50 different differences 50 differences between men and women. And the lady that did it did a really good job. It's a YouTube video, did a really good job, but also mentions toward the end of the video that she had 100 and she pared it down to 50. So there are a lot of things that make us different, men and women. But different doesn't mean division. It shouldn't be divisive. Too many times we make it that, though, because we look at it through our lens. I don't remember which book it was, but there's like a blue lens instead of a pink lens concept. It's just, we really need to try to understand the differences and embrace them. We're made different for a reason. You know, men and women are made different for a reason. And we could have somebody that is identical, let's just say it this way. Everything else, same temperament, same personality type, same personality traits, everything else, and one's a man and one's a woman, they're gonna be very different. I mean, it's that big of a deal. And it comes from, you know, when you're born all the way up. We're not the same for reasons. So check that out. A lot of cool stuff there. There are, I'll just go over the 3 basic concepts. So one is obviously we're different biologically, but also how our brains work, how we're wired. But a couple different resources that we went over, 3 different resources. And they're on the page as well. But the men are from Mars, women are from Venus concept. And again, we're not selling out to all of the things in these different books, or concepts, but we are looking at it in a way of like, oh, that makes sense. High level. Does that make sense? Yeah. Wow, that's different. But anyway, so that one, another really good one, it was men are waffles, women are spaghetti. Sounds weird. Really good. Short version, men, everything's in the boxes. And there are a couple really good videos out there for that. Everything's in the box like a waffle. Don't ask us something outside of that box. Women can multitask or be doing different things. Now, multitasking, by the way, hot topic. Gonna go through that real quick. Multitasking. For a man, when you ask if he can multitask, he thinks multitask, like multiple things, multiple tasks, same box. So I'm a computer guy. I can have 6 computers doing 6 different things, multitask like nobody's business. Time manage, all that kind of stuff. Fine. Don't come in and ask me a question. That's not multitasking. Multitasking is the task that you're doing multiple times, multiple ways. To a man, that's what it means. For a woman that says men can't multitask, multitasking means I can do the dishes. I'm not stereotyping here, sorry. You can be doing multiple different things, taking care of a baby, doing housework, like on the computer, on the phone, and watching something on TV at the same time. I don't know how, it's not possible to do that. Yet, I've witnessed women do it. So that's the version of multitasking. Multitasking, seemingly, and this is not just me, this is, you'll see if you watch some of the videos, is really just, for a woman, is doing multiple different things, like very different. Box. You're not staying in the box. I don't understand it. And, you know, there's stuff that goes along with that, but, you know, when a man's watching TV and doesn't hear you, it's not because he doesn't want to hear you. Most of the time, we just don't, because we're zoned into that. Now, I will have and I use this as an example, because the reason I know about the men are waffles, women are spaghetti, because I had a discussion. My wife and I were at a counseling thing, and we were explaining how, you know, I'm watching TV, and she would come in and ask me something, and then I'd respond to her like 5 minutes later. And I do this a lot. I didn't know I was really doing that 5 minutes later because I'm a guy. And what happened was I was watching that, whatever I'm watching, I can't shift. I can't do 2 of those completely different tasks at once. So when a commercial came on or something, my brain could process what happened earlier. and it would go, okay, she said this or asked this, and then I'd respond. And that was, to her, me ignoring her or not, and it just, I wasn't capable. Yes, you heard that right. I wasn't capable of watching TV and having that verbal interaction at the same time. I couldn't do it. So that helped us understand that. So that was a kind of a small, big thing. And the counselor's the one that explained kind of the differences and said to get that book. So that's where that comes from. The other one is, we talked about love and respect, and there's a whole love and respect. There are a bunch of seminars that are done with this. It all goes back to scripture where, oh gosh, I didn't write it down, but it basically says, men, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Women, respect your husbands. And we talked about that a little bit, and it's the reason that that's stated, and I believe it's by Paul. I'm not going to misquote. You can look it up. The reason that is such a big deal and why it was stated to us is because it's so opposite for us. So like for a man, respect is huge. It's more important than love, because a man gets love kind of from the respect, and there's a book for it, and it's really good. So, but for a woman, they're like, oh, well, love is easy. So from each side, it's like we think, well, respect is easy because we know we understand how well respect is for us. That's what we respect, other, and women are more, the love is more natural for them, right? So it's complete opposite, and that's what we're asked to do. We're asked to do the opposite of how we're built to be able to come together. And it's really a big deal. Small thing, big deal. And it also kind of plays into the love languages, because if you're not respected, you don't feel loved as a man. And if you're not loved, then you don't feel loved as a woman. So those are the things we talked about. I don't want to go more into it, but check out the videos. They're really good. The different resources are really good. This is just, as we continue on this journey of identity, these are just other pieces that help us understand, how we're made and how others are made, and kind of helps us connect some of those dots that help us have better relationships. That's what it's all about. So anyway, thanks for watching. Keep being real.